Previously on Disney Parks History.
Jim Henson is tired and Michael Eisner totally ripped off Universal. Don't believe me? Go back and watch the first video.
And now we continue with our story.
Welcome, everyone. I'm in the lobby of the Grand Floridian
Okay, who else can we get?
On May 6, 1990, The Muppets at Walt Disney World premiered on NBC as an episode of The Magical World of Disney. This special was made to promote the upcoming merger between Disney and the Henson Company.
They're here.
The special follows Kermit, who takes the other Muppets to his hometown of Paradise Swamp in Florida for the annual Frog Festival and Bug Fry. But once they find out Disney World is nearby, they decide they would rather go there.
Kermit, you don't understand. You are asking us to choose between Walt Disney World and fried bugs.
Once getting there and realizing they don't have tickets, Animal breaks them in and shenanigans ensue.
No way! No way! No way!
And now Kermit has to find and round them all back up before a security guard played by Charlie Grodin can. Grodin had actually previously worked with the Muppets in The Great Muppet Caper as Nicky Holiday.
You know what? You can't even sing! Your voice was dubbed!
Highlights of the special include Beauregard taking Piggy on all the thrill rides like Big Thunder, Star Tours, and the Mad Tea Party, and the Electric Mayhem performing in World Showcase.
Rock and rollin' around the world. Rock and rollin' the world around. Rock and rollin' around the world.
At one point, Kermit is feeling down about how his friends would rather run around Disney World than his swamp when a pretty That's So Raven Simone shows up to cheer him up by singing Rainbow Connection.
Someday we'll find it, rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
You know, I think I remember this song.
Whoever sang that song first must have been a wise person.
But actually, he was a frog.
This gives Kermit the encouragement he needs to find all his friends and really double down on doing what he wants to do, which, in this special, designed to promote both the Disney merger and the Walt Disney World Resort, is not be at Disney World.
You know, I should stop moping around and find my friends and take them back to the swamp for the Frog Festival.
That's the spirit.
Comedy gold.
Kermit does eventually find all his friends at the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular.
Nothing interesting happening up here, Camilla. Let's go back to the laundry.
Where they are caught by the security guard. He reports them to his boss, Mickey Mouse, who we come to find is an old friend of Kermit's.
I didn't know you knew Mickey Mouse.
Sure, we're both members of FASA.
Fassa?
Yeah, Fictional Animal Stars of America.
Mickey invites all the Muppets to his office, where he welcomes them into the Disney family. An obvious reference to the merger, which at the time was kinda cute, but it was a scene that would not age well. The negotiations for the Disney deal had not been going as planned. The whole idea behind the merger was so that Jim could spend more time creating and less time on the business side of things. But the business side of the deal had been taking up more and more of his time. The deal was that Disney would acquire most of the Henson Company's characters and properties. This was set to exclude the Sesame Street Muppet characters, but Eisner kept asking if they could be included, and Jim was getting tired of it. By May of 1990, somewhere in the middle of Jim's hectic travel schedule, he had picked up an illness, which he had believed was just a cold. Eventually he returned to his home in New York, where his wife Jane told him he needed to go to the hospital. And early on May 15th, when the pain had become too much, he agreed. Throughout the rest of the day and into the night, the doctors attempted to bring Jim back to health, but they could not. And Jim Henson passed away early on May 16th, 1990, at the age of 53. A few days later, on May 25th, a live stage show called Here Come the Muppets opened at the former location of the Walt Disney Theater, which was originally used for the finale of the original 2-hour studio tour, which played a short film with Michael Eisner and Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy, my favorite seat. Excuse me, do you mind?
Excuse me, will you sit down, please? You're blocking our view.
Ooh, sorry, Mr. Eisner. Excuse me. It'll never happen again.
To anyone who ever wondered where that meme came from, you're welcome.
The new show, interestingly, had the Muppets represented as full-body costumes rather than puppets.
Oh, Mr. Bear!
Yes, Mr. Frog.
You know, your jokes are like wine.
You mean they approach with age?
No? Too much of them and you're sick!
And it featured a variety of musical numbers and gags, including one where Animal crashes the monorail onto the stage despite the monorail's route going nowhere near MGM. The show seemed to be a sign that the merger would go through as planned. However, things took an unexpected turn in December of 1990, as the New York Times reported Disney was no longer pursuing the purchase of the Henson Company. But what they failed to mention was that they were going to go ahead and open Muppet Vision the following year anyway. In April of 1991, just a month before the attraction's opening and the one-year anniversary of Jim's death, Henson Associates filed a lawsuit against Disney, accusing them of attempting to exploit the Muppets by using the characters at the park before the deal was finalized. Jim's son Brian Henson demanded that Disney not debut Muppet Vision 3D, so the show's press preview was cancelled and the opening was delayed. Disney would go on to countersue, arguing that Muppet Vision was completed before Jim's death, and that it was part of a pre-existing agreement. On April 30th, both parties reached a settlement, and on May 16, 1991, exactly 1 year after Jim Henson's passing, his final project, Muppet Vision 3D, opened to the public.
1D, 2D, 3D, go!
Welcome to Muppet Vision 3D.
Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D. Get a taste for unique fun that bubbles over with excitement. It's a sensation that will blow you away and shower you with humor. For the finest in wildly wacky, explosive entertainment, Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D. We surrender! We surrender! Only at the Disney MGM Studios theme park. Starring moi!
Muppet Vision's home was located just past Star Tours going into Streets of America. Two of the locations for the planned restaurants were built. The first was the Great Gonzo's Pandemonium Pizza Parlor, which had its building become the Italian restaurant Mama Melrose on September 26, 1991. The initial plan during development was to have audio-animatronics of rats serve the food, which would have traveled on beams across the ceiling. If you ever went to Mama Melrose and looked up, you would see the beams were already installed before the plan was scrapped. The other was Swedish Chef's Video Cooking School. Its building opened as a film props exhibit called Studio Showcase on September 29th, showing off movie props from films like The Rocketeer, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. As for Muppet Vision 3D itself, when you first approached the show building, you were met with the iconic Miss Piggy fountain, which also featured several other Muppet characters, including both Gonzo and Fozzie directing the scene, Animal controlling the water valve, and a few friendly rats swimming in the water. As you got closer, you would find cutouts of Sweetums with a ping pong paddle and of Statler and Waldorf about to head in themselves. If it was a particularly busy day, then you might have been sent through the extended queue. There you could find Muppet Fight posters parodying classic movies, which would be updated throughout the years. You could also find Muppet eyes and noses placed on pretty much everything. Once inside, one of the first things you would see was a security window where a sign hung reading, "Back in 5 minutes, key is under mat." A mat did in fact sit under the window, and if you lifted it up, you would in fact find a key.
Oh, cool. Can I keep it?
You can't, you fool. It's bolted to the floor. That joke will make more sense later.
Further on in the queue, you would go through this short hallway featuring Muppet posters and a few doors to the Muppet Labs. Oh, and they make it very clear you have to be this short to enter. A lot of Disney attractions will tell you you're too short to ride, but I don't know of any other ones at Disney that tell you you're too tall. Once you enter the pre-show room, you can either watch the pre-show itself or take a look around the room at the hundreds and thousands of props. I'm not even kidding, there's probably more props in this one room than any attraction on property. Some of these include the wooden soldier props used in the finale of the film, the Pigs in Space spaceship, Tutti Fruttis, the Electric Mayhem's instruments packed up in boxes, which if you know where this story is going could be considered foreshadowing, the Muppet cast's various suitcases and crates, a very important plank that shall not be removed, and a barrel full of bananas. Just to name a few. The pre-show itself takes place across 3 separate screens and starts with a couple of construction workers setting up a few signs. One big Muppet Vision 3D logo sign, and 2 smaller Kodak signs off to the sides. Kodak was the attraction's sponsor from its opening in 1991 until 2013. The Kodak signs were digitally replaced by additional Muppet Vision logos after the sponsorship ended. After the big sign falls on the construction workers, Scooter comes on to end the video display test. He then walks through each individual TV and experiences a few video gags.
Wow, is that weird or what? Hey, Tom! Yeah? Tom, over there. How technical.
After Tom fixes the small bit of TV sag, a painter comes in and paints a video background of fish swimming through the water. Tom swims back in and ends up pulling the plug out of the drain. The water and fish go out through the drain as a small group of penguins emerge. These penguins are actually the show's orchestra, and Fozzie comes in to direct them into the theater, which leads to the discovery, or at least Fozzie's discovery, of an iconic joke.
Hey, hold it. You're not a penguin, you're a chicken. I told you chickens to stay on the other side of the road. Okay, why did this chicken cross the road? Ah, that's funny. Hey, penguins, I got a joke. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Scooter then comes back on to make a few announcements, while Rizzo reminds us all of his grossness.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could step as far forward and close together as you can.
Yeah. Get real close. You see, we're doing research on deodorant strength.
Rizzo, you're disgusting.
It's a gift.
Fozzie then comes back on to pitch his new act for the movie, which he calls the 3 Ds.
Hi, I'm Dorothy.
I'm Dinah. I'm Max. Yeah, Debbie was sick, so the union sent me.
Debbie was sick, so the you...
1, 2, 3. By the light. By the light. By the light.
Of the silver
Not the sun, but the moon.
No, come on. No.
Scooter rejects the act, and as they leave, Bean Bunny comes on wearing a bunch of musical instruments, saying he's going to help Miss Piggy with her musical number. However, Miss Piggy does not appreciate being interrupted and sends Bean flying, because as we all know, Muppets getting thrown around is always funny.
Hey! Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Gonzo then runs on to inform Scooter that there's an urgent telephone call for him. Scooter runs off to get it.
I got him. We don't have a telephone.
Gonzo then treats the pre-show audience to a 3 Gonzo tap dance performance, with each balancing a pot of flowers on their heads. Some better than others.
You dropped your pot.
Scooter comes back on, and Bean comes back with a pool float, saying it's a prop for Miss Piggy's number. But once again, Miss Piggy doesn't appreciate the interruption, and Bean goes flying to the complete other side of the building. Scooter then tells us they're almost ready to start as Fozzie directs more penguins into the theater. Scooter then leaves while Sam Eagle comes on to give the safety spiel, but he's interrupted by Gonzo, who says they've got a special guest.
I have the great honor of introducing the one, the only, Mr. Mickey Mouse.
Hello, hi there. Welcome to my park. How you doing? Hello.
You know, I hear this joke was hard to get past Disney's legal team.
Will you get out of here?
Okay, but do I still get my $10?
Get out!
Right.
I've got Donald Duck back here.
Will you get out?
Yes!
Sam continues with the safety spiel, declaring stopping in the middle of the row as distinctly unpatriotic, and says not to walk while wearing the 3D glasses. Right as Gonzo walks by with a pair of 3D glasses on.
What are you doing?
I'm just showing how you can trip if you walk with your glasses on.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?
Scooter comes back in to inform Sam that they're almost ready to start. Sam in turn explains that the performers will go into the theater first, and is then trampled over by a stampede of Muppet performers, most of whom aren't in the show.
Will somebody please take over?
The guests then enter the theater, a larger-than-life recreation of the Muppet Show theater, complete with Statler and Waldorf up in one of the theater boxes.
Hey, look! Look at the guy in the goofy mask! That's not a mask. Oh, sorry, lady!
Wow, it's gonna be hard for us to make the jokes when you got 2 seasoned professionals in the house.
Hey, what are you doing stopping in the middle? They said it was unpatriotic.
Yeah, and I've been walking around with the glasses on. Nothing's gone wrong.
The show properly begins with the Penguin Orchestra playing the Muppet Show theme as both the physical curtain and several on-screen curtains open to reveal a door with the show's logo. And almost instantly, the 3D in the logo flies out towards the audience, which is revealed to be controlled by Gonzo.
Gonzo? Gonzo?
What? Oh. Sorry, boss.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here, and welcome to Muppet Vision 3D!
Kermit explains that Muppet Vision is a new film technology developed by Muppet Labs, and that we're here for a tech demo. He then checks on the Swedish chef who's running the projector in the back.
Hey, they're hoppin', their machining is going, they're flumy.
Exactly.
Kermit also mentions both Miss Piggy and Sam Eagle have big musical demonstrations before Fozzie comes on for some cheap 3D tricks, before getting heckled by Statler and Waldorf.
Well, my new 3D act's gonna shower you all with humor. Ah! Waka waka!
He's trying to drown us! What kind of act is that? An act of mercy!
Kermit then takes the guests into Muppet Labs itself, where Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker demonstrate the first living 3D effect, Waldo C. Graphic, who's gone from the demographics expert to the spirit of 3D.
You know, all these other people think I'm talking to them, but I'm really just talking to you!
Bunsen and Beaker attempt to deactivate Waldo, but it doesn't work. They then attempt to pop him like a balloon, but that just sends multiple Waldos flying around the theater. The two then pull out a device called the Vacuum Muppet, which begins sucking up all the Waldos, as well as the rest of the lab and one of the penguins.
Penguin, no!
One Waldo manages to escape though.
Hey, I'm free! Taxi! Alright, now I'm getting out of this place!
Kermit continues the tour, but then encounters a floating pie, which was being operated by Fozzie. That is until he loses control of it and it lands in his face.
Fozzie, that's terrible.
You're right. Needs more sugar.
We then move into Miss Piggy's musical number, Dream a Little Dream of Me. As she performs, Bean comes in trying to help with the number with additions like a butterfly, a bee, and bubbles. The last of which results in real bubbles dropping down from the theater ceiling.
Thanks, I was overdue for a bath.
However, Piggy doesn't appreciate Bean disturbing her act, and Bean hands her a small stick.
What's that?
It was for the big water skiing finale.
What?
Now, if you're not interested in possibly having your childhood ruined, feel free to skip to this time code. But when Miss Piggy goes flying forward into the water, you can briefly see something in the background rolling off into the bushes. This is supposedly Miss Piggy's head.
Woo! We're having bacon tonight, boys.
This was possibly because they didn't want to get it wet in case they needed to do multiple takes, although it's entirely possible that it could just be her hat and wig.
We're having hat and bacon tonight, boys.
That doesn't sound as appealing.
You are ruining this film.
Well, I was just trying to help. I didn't mean anything.
Go away. Go away.
Bean leaves the set and runs into Waldo, who's still trying to find his way out of the movie. Bean invites him to come along and the two head out.
Hey, Bean, what's up?
I'm going away. Forever.
Oh, great. Could you get me a sandwich? Would any of you people like anything?
No thanks. I'm pretty sure there's no eating or drinking allowed in the theater.
Gonzo informs Kermit and Fozzie that Bean has run away, and they stop the show to look for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue the show in just a moment, but in the meantime, if you see a rabbit, holler!
Spotlight's meant to represent flashlight search around the theater, and as a surprise to everyone sitting in the front row, a live Sweetums actor comes out with his own flashlight.
Wow, Chewie has really been through it since Han was killed.
Sweetums asks the guests if they've seen a bunny, and several kids in the audience point to him in the opposite theater box to Statler and Waldorf's. And if any of the kids in the audience tend to sound the same every show...
I don't see a bunny. Where?
There!
Where?
That's because they're actually part of the soundtrack. Bean says he's running away because no one will let him help in the movie, along with Waldo, who once again reveals himself. Gonzo points out that if they leave, they'll miss the fireworks, and that's enough to get them to stay. Bean says he still wants to help, so Fozzie suggests that he sets off the fireworks, leading into Sam Eagle's A Salute to All Nations but Mostly America, a glorious 3-hour finale.
You got a minute and a half!
Ah, dang it. Release the 3-hour cat!
The number features a whole bunch of wooden soldiers like the ones we saw in the pre-show room, as well as a few puppet versions of the It's a Small World dolls, which were also used in the Muppets at Walt Disney World special.
Remember, he said mostly America, not all of it.
Waldo flies around the scene and ends up knocking a tuba player off the stands. He gets back up, but the tuba is now stuck on his head. The tuba player wanders around, bumping into other soldiers, including a few who are shooting off bows and arrows, a few of which end up in the cedar boxes.
I'll give them this. They have better aim than stormtroopers.
Bean, the fireworks!
Rockets away!
Bean shoots off the fireworks, including a few on the roof of the actual theater, though these ones are just some form of Christmas lights rather than actual pyrotechnics like that commercial would suggest. Miss Piggy finally appears as the Statue of Liberty as foreshadowed by the fountain outside, before Waldo, who has morphed into a firework, flies in circles around her, causing her skirt to fall off. Waldo then flies around out of control and lands in the orchestra pit, causing a small fire. Sweetums runs back in with a water bucket and puts the fire out. Unfortunately, the penguins do not appreciate this and bring out a huge cannon.
Duck, everybody! Duck!
Quack, quack.
No, not you!
Ow.
Them! Look out!
The cannon fire destroys the film projector, and Waldo manages to get out of the film reel before it flies off. Unfortunately, the Swedish chef thinks Waldo was the one who destroyed the film, and oh shoot, look out, he's got a gun!
Hey, what are you shooting at me for? It was the penguin! Hey, watch it, will ya?
After a few failed attempts, Chef decides to go to a more desperate solution, and pulls out his own cannon!
Do you think you got him?
Sweetums briefly comes back out to make sure everyone's okay as Kermit rolls out on the back of a large fire truck. Disney branded, of course.
Thank you very much for coming to see this demonstration of Muppet Vision technology, and enjoy the rest of your stay, and come see us again sometime.
Curtain closes as Waldo appears one more time.
They'll never recognize me now! Forward!
Two false Mickeys in one show.
How the heck did you get to Tower of Terror that fast?
Before getting sucked into that vacuum from earlier and the show ends.
Well, what do you think? We have time to go to the bathroom before the next show? We can't, you old fool! We're bolted to the seats!
See, I told you. Anyway, if you need me, I'll be on Star Tours.
I know what I just described might have sounded disjointed and confusing, but when you see the show yourself, it both makes a lot more sense and is absolutely hilarious. I know recent events have made actually seeing the show kind of tricky, but videos do exist on YouTube, so I highly recommend checking it out. I've made 2 multi-angle videos of it myself, and of course plenty of other people have uploaded videos of it. Just however you choose to watch this show, check it out. You won't regret it.
New at the Disney MGM Studios theme park, the world premiere of the most incredible theatrical event of a lifetime, Muppet Vision 3D. So take a look, open your ears, taste the good life. It's the feel-good movie of the year, and in true Muppet spirit, expect the unexpected. It's not just 3D, it's Muppet Vision 3D, the newest, most spectacular film sensation at the Disney MGM Studios theme park.
On September 2nd, 1991, a few months after Muppet Vision's opening, Here Come the Muppets closed, to be replaced by Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which opened on January 7th the following year. The show featured a cast of puppet characters to bring iconic scenes from the animated classic to life. Or to put it another way, the show, which featured the characters most well known for being puppets in oversized costume form, was replaced by a puppet show. On an interesting side note, during the time Jim Henson was negotiating with Disney, he proposed a live-action Little Mermaid series entitled Little Mermaid's Island. Only 2 episodes were filmed, Sebastian's Birthday and Tell the Truth, both of which can be found on YouTube. Jim died just 2 months after the pilot was shot, and was supposedly disappointed with what he saw.
Mr. Nathan, do you think it's possible that this canceled show might have inspired Voyage in some way?
Maybe. On September 16th of 1991, just 2 weeks after Here Come the Muppets closed, the full-body Muppet costumes would make a return in a new show near Muppet Vision on Streets of America. Muppets on Location, Days of Swine and Roses saw the Muppet Gang filming a movie and gave guests an opportunity to get some Muppet autographs. The show ran until January 23, 1994. There was a plan in development to bring Muppet Vision 3D to the original Disneyland as a part of a massive marketing stunt by then Disneyland president Jack Lindquist. The plan was for Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and the other Disney characters to take a year-long vacation in 1991 following Disneyland's 35th anniversary celebration the previous year, and for the Muppets to run the park while they were gone. The year-long event would have seen the park transformed, with Animal being added to Pirates of the Caribbean, Miss Piggy as Cleopatra in It's a Small World, the iconic Mickey flower bed in front of the train station would have been replaced with Kermit's face, and the Matterhorn would have been painted green.
Gee, my toilet paper stuff was up for like a day. Imagine having a green Matterhorn for a whole year. You wouldn't even have been able to meet Mickey Mouse at Disneyland for an entire year.
How the heck are we communicating across opposite sides of the resort?
Don't ask.
Additionally, there were going to be 2 parades, including the Muppets All-Star Motorcade and Here Come the Muppets, not to be confused with the show at Studios. Finally, the event would have seen a clone of Muppet Vision that would have gone in the Main Street Opera House in place of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. But unlike the rest of the year-long event, this change was meant to be permanent. However, after all the drama following Henson's passing, this takeover plan was ultimately scrapped, and it would take another decade for the attraction to come to California.
Heads up, everybody! We have a new neighbor.
Oh no, the world ends at the gate.
Aha! They're from California. Ooh, nice limo.
Is there a prince inside?
Let's go see him. Easy, big guy. Nobody likes a nosy neighbor.
On February 8, 2001, Disneyland would finally receive a second gate in the form of Disney's California Adventure. The park received a mixed to negative reception from park guests due to its very cheap theming, generic carnival-type rides that Walt Disney famously did not want Disneyland to be, and that it was a California-themed park located in the already California-themed California.
I think it's a great thing that Disney took their parking lot and turned it into an entire state. Sort of just like California, which took an entire state and turned it into a parking lot.
The very few highlights of the park included the new attraction Soarin' Over California and a clone of Muppet Vision 3D. This version was located in the Hollywoodland area, nearby the attraction's Superstar Limo.
Just get to the Chinese theater pronto, you hear me? Everybody's waiting, capiche? Now don't be late, babe.
A attraction that closed less than a year later for unknown reasons.
How about a map to your house, Drew Carey?
Eventually replaced in 2006 by Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the rescue. Remember that fact. For later. The California version of Muppets was the same show and pre-show as the Florida version, but the facade and queue were quite different. The facade was of a large film strip with a Kermit statue popping out of the title, as well as a moving 3D logo. The rest of the outdoor queue featured vignettes of various Muppet gags like Gonzo's motorcycle stuck in the wall, and the classic Beaker torture setup.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Despite there now being 2 Muppet Visions in operation, it would still take another 4 years for Disney to actually buy the Muppets. The Henson Company would collab with Disney for a few movies such as The Muppet Christmas Carol in 1992 and Muppet Treasure Island in 1996, but the Henson Company would also team up with other studios, such as Muppets from Space in 1999 with Columbia Pictures, and It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie in 2002 with MGM Home Entertainment and NBC Studios.
Corporate synergy. It's out of control.
Finally, in 2004, Disney would acquire the main Muppets cast, still not owning the rights to Fraggle Rock, Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, or Sesame Street, which by that point was no longer a big deal for Eisner, as he stepped down as CEO just 1 year later in 2005, with Bob Iger coming in to replace him. In the years following, a few new Muppet experiences would pop up at the parks, no longer including the massive walk-around Muppets, which had thankfully been retired. In February of 2007, the Muppet Mobile Lab made its debut at Disney California Adventure, featuring animatronics of Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker that guests could interact with.
As I said, we're offering free samples today of our new spray-on deodorant. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
Here it goes. 1, 2, 3, spray. Now, anyone who prefers a roll-on deodorant, simply lie down on the pavement so we can roll over you.
This was a part of Disney's Living Character Initiative, which was dedicated to finding new and innovative ways to bring characters to life in the parks. I would say if you want to know more, check out the Funklands video, but something tells me you already have. The mobile lab would also make occasional appearances at Epcot from 2007 until 2016, and in Hong Kong Disneyland from 2008 until 2013. In 2010, the Muppets were used as the face of the Give a Day, Get a Disney Day promotion, a volunteering drive that offered free park tickets in exchange for giving a day of volunteering for a number of organizations. During this time, Kermit and Miss Piggy would appear in the honorary Volun-Ears cavalcade along with Sweetums. Then a year later in 2011, Disney released The Muppets, the first theatrical Muppet movie in 12 years. The film received critical acclaim and grossed $6.5 million at the box office. With this massive success on their hands, what new Muppets attractions and experiences did Disney add to their parks? That's awkward. It wasn't until the release of the film's sequel, Muppets Most Wanted, in 2014, that there would be a new Muppets attraction added to Disney World, but only temporarily. Over at Epcot, the Agent P World Showcase Adventure Scavenger Hunt was temporarily replaced with the Great Constantine Caper. Guests would be recruited as agents of the Muppet Bureau of Investigation and search several World Showcase countries to find Constantine, who was the villain of the new movie. Once they completed their mission, guests could be led into a back area where they would see a crate that supposedly contained Constantine, as well as be given watermelon seeds for, I'm sure a very good reason. Also that year, a Constantine meet and greet was available during the one-night-only Villains Unleashed ticketed event at Hollywood Studios, where guests could meet him in a small jail cell. This meet and greet was especially unique, as Constantine was actually voiced and puppeteered by his voice and puppeteer from the film, Matt Vogel, who would also take over as Kermit the Frog himself in 2017. But while Florida was getting these temporary promotions, November 1st, 2014 would see the end of the Muppets' time in California, as Muppet Vision 3D would close in California Adventure after just 13 years. Replaced on January 7th, 2014 with, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration, as a part of the park's Frozen Fun event.
Everyone's excited because Frozen Fun is now at Disney California Adventure Park.
I won't be alone.
The event ran until May 15th of that same year, but Frozen Sing-Along ran until April 17th, 2016. But instead of bringing Muppets back, the theater was renamed to the Sunset Showcase Theater, and the venue was used for previews of upcoming movies for several years. And on April 26, 2019, Mickey's PhilharMagic opened in the theater, serving as a permanent replacement for Muppet Vision, which was unfortunate as the California PhilharMagic is not great. The original version of PhilharMagic in Magic Kingdom is presented across a large wraparound screen that takes up your entire field of vision. But the Muppet Vision Theater only has the main screen in the middle, so the California PhilharMagic ended up using the side projection walls left over from the Muppet Vision explosion effect. Which looks kinda choppy, but hey, at least they actually put something in this space. That's more than I can say about a lot of other attractions. Back in Florida, on October 2nd, 2016, a new live show, The Muppets Present Great Moments in American History, debuted at Magic Kingdom's Liberty Square. This new show featured the Muppet cast popping out of windows on one of the side buildings, as well as Sam Eagle popping out of the top of Hall of Presidents, retelling stories of American history. This included the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which also included a live actor on the ground interacting with the crowd, and the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
I'll hang 1 if by land, and 2 if by sea. Great. And 3 if by monorail, and 4 if by pogo stick, and 5 if by unicycle, 6 if by registered mail. Fozzie!
Fozzie, are you okay?
Yeah. The lanterns lightened my fall.
The show ran up until October of 2019, possibly as a budgetary cut, as the puppets in the show would often need to be replaced due to getting sun bleached. This is Florida, after all.
Bright signs, people. Bright lighting signs.
While all this was going on, the original Muppets area at Studios was going through some ups and downs. For starters, the iconic Miss Piggy fountain had some downgrades in its time. When the fountain debuted, Miss Piggy would not only spin, but also rise up and down, but the rising action was removed in 1996. Years later, in 2016, the entire fountain was drained and turned into a planter, removing Fozzie, Gonzo, Animal, the fish, and the rats, leaving only a static Miss Piggy. This was only temporary though, possibly having to do with plumbing alterations related to the construction of an upcoming land. And in 2017, the water as well as the fish and rat statues returned. But Fozzie, Gonzo, and Animal would never be reinstalled, and Miss Piggy would no longer spin. In December of 1995, the props exhibit was replaced by the Toy Story themed Pizza Planet arcade. which operated next door to Muppet Vision up until 2016, when it was replaced by Pizza Rizzo's, a new pizza venue that tied into the surrounding Muppets theming, turning this area of the park officially into Muppet's Courtyard. The outside of Pizza Rizzo's had a large neon sign proclaiming it to be the city's top-rated pizza, which would occasionally glitch to say, "It's rat pizza," which if you ever ate there, you would probably believe that. While this new addition did complete the Muppetification of the area, it unfortunately would not last much longer, due to the events of the next 8 years.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey, you're the one that checked the internet earlier.
Well, at least I didn't use ChatGPT to do it. And here